Most people thought this was going to be maybe not the Trailblazers, but shout out them. Been one of the most fun, I think, teams this year. And hopefully it guarantees that Tiago Splitter gets the job. And it's, I think, fulfilling and ironic that the first playoff series he gets is against his former team. Hit that like and subscribe button. We're on the way to 20,000. I can't get there without your guys' help. Who do you think is going to win and why? If you just want to hear my projections or predictions and preview projections, whatever, go to the end of the video, last minute or two. I'll give you that. We'll break down both teams. So San Antonio is obviously the stronger, cleaner, and more complete team in this matchup. The Spurs finished 62-20, second in the West with a plus 8.3 net rating, which also ranks second in the NBA. They built that record with, being the third best scoring offense. They had the eighth best points allowed per game, fourth best offensive rating, third best defensive rating. They don't rely on one path to win. They can beat teams with shot creation, size, rim pressure, rebounding, and defense. Like, look how good they did when Wembanyama was hurt and wasn't playing, or even when he was coming off the bench. I think Portland, Tiago Splitter, deserves credit for reaching that 42-40, especially after entering the season with low expectations. We're signing Damian Lillard, who we knew was going to be out for the year with the Achilles injury. And the Blazers still stayed competitive after Chauncey Billups was basically removed from the team after being involved in a federal investigation for, it's crazy to think, basically being like would you say the mule? Not the mule, but like he was the one that like attracts people. Either way, they finished 8th and they shocked the Suns. And I think this shows that they may be a team that could surprise San Antonio, but they have some things. Look, they ranked 17th in scoring, 16th in points allowed, 20th in offensive rating, 14th in defensive rating. I always say the championship teams, or teams that at least make it to the conference finals, are at least top 10 in either offense or defense and top 15 in defense or offense. This is a team that has a negative 0.3 net rating, and they outplayed their expectations, but they're still a lower playoff team than a real threat. And the season series gives Portland some hope, but it still obviously favors San Antonio. The Spurs beat Portland November 26th and April 8th, while Portland won in January. And that game was a close one, but I think the easiest way to look at this is that San Antonio has fewer weaknesses and plenty of answers. The Spurs finished top 5 in both offensive and defensive rating. Portland did not finish top 10 in either category. That difference is usually what separates a team that can survive a series from a team that controls one. San Antonio offense is not just productive, it's insanely efficient, and it's consistent. They shot 48% from the field, 36% from 3. They averaged 28 assists per game, which shows how often they created quality shots with a three-headed guard system and instead of forcing them. They also took care of the ball at a high level with just 13.5 turnovers per game, 4th best in the league. In a playoff series, that's going to matter. San Antonio is just not going to give away possessions. Portland, by contrast, played faster, more aggressive, but with much more chaos. Blazers averaged 14.5 made threes per game, which ranked 7th, and they launched 42.2 threes per game, 3rd in the league. They also crashed the glass hard, averaging 14.1 offensive rebounds per game, 2nd in the NBA, posting a 31.3% offensive rebounding rate, 2nd in the league. That gives them the second chance opportunities, which those extra chances can help them hang around even when their offense stalls. While I always say this, offensive rebound specifically, but rebounding in general allows you to physically impose your will, to demoralize your opponent, chip away at them, to eventually, you start galvanizing the troops. It creates more offense. And it's, I think, one of the best ways to just grind down an opponent over a series and just throughout a game. And the problem is Portland's style also comes with a major cost. 17.3 turnovers per game, worst in the NBA against San Antonio, a team that already has the best offense, a better defense, and just an efficiency and consistency. That kind of possession leak is dangerous. The Blazers can survive that in a random Tuesday game, but it's going to be much harder to survive in a playoff series that you're going to have to win 4 times. I think Victor Wembanyama, he's the biggest reason to believe San Antonio wins comfortably. He averaged 25 points, 11.5 rebounds, 3 assists. His numbers are just insane. Also, he changes the geometry of the series. Yeah, Portland's front court is strong and deep, has Donovan Clingan, Tamani Kamara, Robert Williams looks great, and so Jeremy Grant, but nobody can guard or replicate what Wembanyama does. Donovan Clingan had a great second year, 12 rebounds, 12 points, shoots threes. Robert Williams has been like Time Lord in a reduced role or reduced minutes. They have the size, defensive activity, and the rebounding, but Wembanyama not only brings star offense, defensive ability that one player, if they possess it, typically bends the series. The real issue is for Portland when Wembanyama just pulls both Robert Williams and Donovan Clingan to the top of the key. He had 122 threes this season, attempted 5.5 of them per game. He can score inside, he can space the floor, he can erase mistakes, put the ball on the deck. If Clingan plays high, Wembanyama can attack inside. If Clingan drops, Wembanyama can pop or facilitate. If Portland tries to switch smaller defenders onto him, San Antonio is going to punish that. Then their backcourt of De'Aaron Fox, who gives them downhill speed and late shot clock reliability. Stephon Castle, 35% assist rate, shows how much of San Antonio's offense flows through him. He also got to the line 6 times a game, and then they got the rookie Dylan Harper off the bench, who's just an efficient microwave, 12 points, 4 assists. That's just a lot of pressure for Portland's guards. Drew Holiday, who's got good experience and physicality, like, is he going to be able to do that while relying on Shaedon Sharpe, who's a great scorer, and Scoot Henderson, who's a great creator, 14 points, 4 assists to go with Shaedon's 20, and Drew Holiday's 16 points and 6 assists. But that group maybe can score enough to threaten Gayward too, but I don't think they're going to be able to defend to win 4. So San Antonio has the stronger setup, with their guards, and they turn the ball over less. And obviously Portland's path is going to be Denny Avdia. He's the all-star, 24 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and a 30% usage rate, 60% true shooting, 9 free throws a night, most free throws in the league. This is going to be huge because the Blazers have to challenge San Antonio's defense by forcing rotations, getting to the charity stripe, and they'll need Shaedon Sharpe to be a guy who can just shoot, live on high volume shooting. And it means Denny Avdia attacking, Portland's bigs, dominating the paint and offensive glass, and having Shaedon Sharpe or Jeremy Grant just launch threes, and they need that spacing from their wings and punish the slower closeouts. And if their offense becomes lethal, it's because of the shooting. And also the rebounding is going to be huge. Devin Vassell, Julian Champagnie, Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson are all players that I think have, a combination of playoff experience, spacing ability, and just deeper role players. Yeah, the Trailblazers have complementary pieces that help, like Matisse Thybulle, Chris Murray, Robert Williams. Tamani Kamara is an all-defensive player. But San Antonio has so much depth. Like, even if Wembanyama doesn't play, Luke Cornett could play, or Mason Plumlee. So for San Antonio, I think Stephon Castle, Keldon Johnson are huge. For Portland, it's Denny Avdia and Donovan Clingan. And I think the Spurs are going to win this in 5. How this is going to play out, I think Portland should have enough talent to steal at least one game. Avdia played at an all-star level. Sharpe can heat up. Holiday has experience. Donovan Clingan gives them, size to match up against Victor Wembanyama. The Blazers rebound well enough to swing possessions, but the Spurs have too many answers. They have the best player. They have a way better team. Their roster's constructed well. The Spurs should control the series by owning the paint defensively, not turning the ball over, forcing Portland to execute in the half court over and over, and having live ball turnovers. And this is not the Blazers' strength. So Portland's good enough to probably steal a game, but the Spurs look like one of those teams that don't need a perfect night to win, and Portland does, and that's the difference. So that's my thoughts on that. I think in 5 games, San Antonio's wins. Bye.